Welcome back, Thought Pulse family. I'm Patrick Hakeem, and of course, I am here. The first thing I want to talk to you guys about is the Silver Symposium coming up September 29th through October 1st. Now, I don't want you guys to miss out. There is still space available, but the tickets, especially for hotel space, is very limited. So make sure to get in and get on that quickly. We are updating who is coming, speakers and influencers. Of course, you guys know who I am. You guys know some of the people on the list: Travis, Economic Ninja, David Morgan. You've got Andy Schechtman, Joe Brown, of course, Chen Lin, and a lot of other junior minor spaces representatives there. So this is going to be a great space. We also just invited Elias Ahonen, who is going to be on our show later next week, and I'm looking forward to that one very much. So please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to get your tickets to the symposium. So we're going to move forward here and talk about Bitcoin. You guys know the goal here is to look at Bitcoin and what it's doing in our economy, what it's doing to change the value and relative value and how we measure gold, silver, other commodities, real estate, labor, land. These are all things we're going to keep looking at as we move forward. But you kind of want to step back and say, what is really going on with Bitcoin, right? So let's just take a look over this last week. Over this last week, you see Bitcoin coming down here almost into the 28,000 yesterday. It was like 28,900 is what I want to say. And when we're dipping into the 28,000s, we're looking at things going, what's happening over here? Why is Bitcoin going down? Why is there so much volatility? And as you guys will see, the episode we just released yesterday talking about what's going on with Greg Mannarino in this space is we understand that the volatility has a lot of opportunity here, and we're watching for this opportunity, and we'll talk more about that as we move forward. But what we're seeing here is really truly an impact of the DXY. The DXY, if you look over the last 5 days, has also been playing some games with our heart here. Last week it was down to almost under $100 for the DXY, and right now it's up at 102.59. So what we're seeing again is when the dollar value goes down, it takes more dollars to buy Bitcoin. You start seeing these pumps, and that's what we saw after the Fed meeting. Then conversely, we saw the credit rating just yesterday. News came out saying markets are going to have an impact, which is what you're seeing today in the markets, because they came and said, hey, you know what? We don't believe that the U.S.'s credit rating is as good as it should be, so we're going to downgrade the credit rating. It's kind of like lowering your credit score, right? You're a more risky debtor. So people don't want to loan money to you, and they are less likely to buy our bonds, less likely to hold our dollars. And these are the things that tell other countries that we are a risk. So what we see happening here, even in our normal markets, you're going to see that we're seeing the dollar is impacting this. S&P is down by 57. The NASDAQ is down by 300. I mean, in reality, we're seeing like 1.5% loss across the board in the traditional markets. Why? Fear. It's fear of the unknown. We call it FUD in the market, right? Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And that's some of the stuff that people are playing off of right now. But what I want to bring us back to is let's talk about what a smart investor does instead. And as you guys heard Greg say yesterday, easy money would say just put your money in silver. Smart money says you want to use Bitcoin because over the next year, even MicroStrategy came out, Michael Saylor, and he's saying we've got $750 million of equity that we want to sell. And what are we going to do with it? We're going to buy more stuff. We believe what they're going to buy is Bitcoin because MicroStrategies and Michael Saylor, the leader of MicroStrategies, inherently is running a Bitcoin ETF. It's kind of funny, but if you look at the value of MicroStrategies, it's almost equivalent to the value of the Bitcoin they hold right now, which is about 150,000 Bitcoin. Kind of funny to think about. Why are they doing this though? What are they doing with $750 million on the sidelines? And I tweeted about this yesterday. What I believe is happening is what Benjamin Cohen was explaining here. When you take a look at Bitcoin, this is the monthly gains and losses of Bitcoin. And what we see in August traditionally and September are these down months. Lots of red in August and September, especially in the years leading up to the halvening. So this is what we expect to see with Bitcoin. I'm a huge Bitcoin maximalist. You guys, I know I'm a Bitcoin bull, but I also understand the cycle. And right now, I think something that MicroStrategy is understanding is they're getting money on the sideline, getting ready to buy August, September, October. I wouldn't be surprised to see $750 million enter the market from the sidelines into Bitcoin through MicroStrategies, Michael Saylor. So these are the things you want to understand, because when you start thinking about measuring things in Satoshic value, you understand the relative purchasing power. This is what he is doing. He's understanding the converse side of that, understanding that the dollar value is high, the Bitcoin value is low. So Bitcoin's on sale, he's buying Bitcoin. And this is proven to be a great strategy as you dollar cost average in. For him, it may not be every month, may not be every quarter, but he's consistently going in and buying Bitcoin. And this is something that you're going to see happen throughout all the markets. So the last thing I want to talk about is this piece here. The SEC stepped in and they actually asked Coinbase to stop trading anything other than Bitcoin. Now, this brings up two really big points I want to make, and I'm going to bring attention to the first one. The first one is Coinbase is still operating. They don't care what the SEC thinks. They don't care what Gensler thinks. They know that the XRP ruling that just came out with Ripple not being deemed a security if it's sold on the secondary, these are things that you can't get away from. And crypto, Bitcoin, blockchain itself, we have good footing now, understanding that we have not just Bitcoin maximalist support or adoption of the nerds or the geeks who just love this stuff like collectibles or whatnot, but you have serious industries and banks and nations entering in. And one thing the SEC cannot control is what we do on a decentralized blockchain. It runs without their oversight, without their approval, and we don't care what they say. Bitcoin will continue running even if the SEC bans Bitcoin. And as we see here, the SEC, they don't have the ability to create laws. They can't make up the rules as they go. There has to be through legislation. And we have a body and a system and a structure to do that. So what's happening now? Armstrong just doesn't care. Their legal analysts are saying we have no precedent, and they'll probably end up suing Coinbase and winning. The second thing that I want to bring up when you talk about them, right? Not only are they doing this, but one thing that they dare not touch is Bitcoin. You could do anything but Bitcoin. Why Bitcoin? Why are they not touching Bitcoin? Why are they suggesting Bitcoin can move on? What makes Bitcoin so different than every other cryptocurrency that ever existed? And these are the things that we're going to talk about as we move forward. Tomorrow and the next week, I'll be going through what is blockchain, what is Bitcoin, what does it look like to move Bitcoin, and of course, as we lead up to Elias coming on our show, how to physically store Bitcoin on physical, tangible items where you can move Bitcoin without the blockchain. So until next time, keep stacking sats.